All right, let's rock and roll and get the show going to the news that you need. All right, here goes. There's a GMT monthly letter. And let's get right away to Jason Carr. Jason Carr is asking playtesters, help wanted, right? So they give this ongoing basis, you know, he'll use this section to ask for playtesters. So the first game is The British Way. So developer Joe Dewars is looking for playtesters for the newest Coin series title through print and play or via a tabletop simulator. If you're interested, go to the GMT website on the playtesters wanted and sign up to playtest there. Also, the Weimar Republic GMT1 designer Joe Schmidt has been working on the Weimar Republic designer Gunnar Holmbach, I hope I pronounced his name right, on a unique solitaire system for his unique CDG, a lot of CDGs. And they're looking for playtesters to help Joe put the system through his paces. Okay, if you're interested, again, go to the GMT website and sign up. Also, Mike Denson for The Last 100 Yards is looking for playtesters for his upcoming mission, The Last 100 Yards. They have a good LHY Vassal module. Oh, Last 100 Yards, for God's sakes. And for those who prefer to play online, if you own and have played The Last 100 Yards Volume 1 or 2 and would like to help playtest, contact Mike Denson on the GMT website. Let's get on to the new P500s and something that I think incredibly excited. This is a game called, actually, you know what? It's designed by John Butterfield and Chad Jensen under the watchful eye of Kai Jensen. And let's see here. The developers are Kai Jensen, Jason Carr, and Bruce Mansfield. All right. So graphic design is by Chad Jensen. The complexity is medium. Solitaire suitability is medium-low. And what you get with this is two 24 by 34 inch paper matte sheets that form one game map. So 384 counters, 110 playing cards, a rule book, 10 double-sided dice, and 10 double-sided 8.5 by 11 player aids, and 4 6-sided dice. So the game is called Downfall, Conquest of the Third Reich, 1942 to 1945. Also, The British Way, designed by Stephen Rangazas. This is a coin game, and it's the British Way counterinsurgency at the end of Empire. This is the first of several coin multi-packs, okay, containing 4 separate games exploring a series of thematically related insurgencies. So, what do we get with this game? This is what you get with this game. You get 2 double-sided 17 by 22 inch mounted game board, 4 game event decks, 1 campaign event deck, 54 wooden pieces, 8 pawns, 1 counter sheet, 11 double-sided player aids, 2 6-sided dice, and 4 combined rule background booklets, and 1 combined playbook campaign guide. And this complexity is medium-low, solitaire suitability is high-low. You know what I'm saying? There's 3 highs, and this is high-low. The Last 100 Yards, pack number 1 by Mike Denson. You know, I interviewed Mike Denson. Nice guy. So this is mission pack number 1. The Last 100 Yards mission pack number 1 builds on volumes 1 and 2, focused on the Allied campaign in Western Europe. So the pack contains 10 missions that occur in 1944 during the Normandy pre-breakout and breakout phases in July and August, the Hurtgen Forest in November, and the Battle of the Bulge in December. Also, talking about stuff, the final word. This is something that Robert Carroll Stigler and myself kind of worked together, and we did, and this is on my website, No Money Means Here, we did a debate called The Final Word. And you know what? It was a lot of fun. I'm trying to keep it down to about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so it's bang, 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 you know. There's times set for questions, and riposte. That's what you say in fencing in French. Anyways. And man, we had participation by the column. What do you call that? My God. We had participation, not the critics, on the peanut gallery. People were participating. Well, what can I tell you? I forget sometimes, you know? It's the heat of the moment. And it was a lot of fun. I think we're gonna do some more here. Also, Salerno 43, the mounted map for Salerno 43, and obviously, I'm assuming this is a game, and I'm taking a good shot here, by Mark Simonich. Alrighty, so don't forget other P500s, Panzer North Africa, the Plum Island Horror, which I will be interviewing, I can't believe it, Herman Lutman. I'm going to be interviewing Herman Lutman during the week sometime. That's a time that we could get in. Also, I'm going to be interviewing the designer for A Time for Trumpets, not trumpets. Bruno Sinigalio. You can't get more grognard than that. If you do have a more grognard than that, let me know. We'll beat him up. So Bruno can still be the #1 grognard. Eh? Anyways, have a good show. And GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer looks at Resident Evil 3 board game Operation Mad Jackal and Company of Heroes Going Big, Part 7. And Games Workshop does it again! And the soft-spoken Gilbert Collins, an Ontario man, that's in Canada, looking back at an old friend, Eric Lee Smith's The Civil War, 1861 to 1865. And Wise Guy History does the final report on Union tactical victory of its Battle of Antietam. Also, he does a review on Matt Rodrigue, the Voyageur of Bayonets and Tomahawk, and Caesar's Gaelic Wars. Now, let me say something. C in Gaelic is cut, right? Like the Celts. Now, why are they called the Celtics? Huh? I mean, use your logic, people. Huh? Just use it. And Robert Carroll, CSR winner, KilRoyWasHere, Imperial Legends from Osprey Games, an unboxing and a brief overview. Also, Unforgiven, the Lincoln assassination trial. Yeah, and Black Orchestra. Is it a war game? Ponder. And look who's back after years! I should say months, maybe weeks. Dad versus son, the next war, Vietnam. Turns 1A and 1B. And Stigler of Stigler for Details checks out lots of stuff. Donau front from SPI, Red Thrust Recon, Stigler. Rough Swordsman Wargamer has a video on learning to play Atlantic Chase from GMT Tutorial number 7, a game by Jeremy White. And Patrick of Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials checks out. You see what my plurals? For God's sake. Great campaigns of the American Civil War, World Series 4, USA versus Spain, and Combat Commander Mediterranean. Also, Command and Colors Ancients. Legendary Tactics has a slew of videos, I should say, and which coin, one of the videos, I'm stumbling, one of the videos is which coin game is the best for you. Also, Twilight Struggle, Colonial Rear Guards, card by card, he checks it out, and Lone Gunman, card by card. Also, How to Play Agricola, I don't like it. And Axis and Allies, turn 7. You got it. And Stephen Dolges has a slew, I like that word, not slaw, but a slew of videos with Pax Romana, Greco-Persian Wars, turns 1 and 2, The Dark Summer Review, and lots more. That is of the Dark Summer. And the Hugh Hefner of war games, war, D-roll plays, World War II miniatures, board games, and media. How to play Battle for Normandy, the landing turn. Also, how to play the landing turn Phase 3 for Battle for Normandy. And he continues with an after-action report in Phase 2 plus the rules and lots more. He's into Battle for Normandy these days. Counterattack does a playthrough of Ukraine 43 turns 6 and 7, a game by Mark Simonich published by GMT. And there he is, the artist that is Matt White. Does Commands and Colors Ancient, Dertosa 215 BC after action report. And check out his tiger tank there. Way to go, man! This is awesome. Awesome. My own worst enemy, he takes a look at STUKAJOE's CDG solo method with Commands and Colors Tricorn. Way to go, Stuka, you started something. Back to the table, ladies and gentlemen, with Summer Camp board game. Also, a stack of games. I guess 8 games, and games that surprised them. JK Wargames takes a look at Tiny Battle Publishing's Scream, Aim, Horror, Scenario 1, Let's Play. And Tony of Tony's Board Life is interviewing with Rough Swordsman Wargamer, the man, Mike Bertuccelli. And Illuminating Rounds looks at IR Tournament Semifinals. This is episode 49. And the minister that is Joel Toppin does Fortress Rabal mission number 4 from Wingleader, a GMT game published by, I should say designed by, Lee Brimicum Wood. And the guys from Little Wars TV are doing epic Austerlitz war game, Choose Your Own Ending. That's an interactive Austerlitz game.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Wojennik from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennik TV. As usually, here is my weekly roundup of the content published on Wojennik TV during the last week. On Sunday, I published another video in the Karty Historii or History Cards series. I decided to publish the second part of my videos concerning Benazir Bhutto. In the first part of the video, which was released really some time ago, I presented the childhood of Benazir Bhutto and her life and her political rise to power up until the moment when her second term was ended. In the second part of this video, released on Sunday, I concentrated on the last years of her life, on her return to Pakistan, and also on the successful assassination attempt which ended her life and her political career. On Tuesday, I released a video in English, and this video was the review of the Return to the Forests of Adrimon. This is an expansion for the Forests of Adrimon, the second installment in the Explored series by Mariucci J Designs. This is an excellent Dude on the Map game in which we take control of heroes who will evolve, who will increase their stats, who will gather allies, who will find magical items, and they will try to overcome their biggest foe, who is Adrimon, in the second installment of the series. The expansion adds additional characters, additional cards, and additionally it allows us to play Adrimon herself. We can play as the evil Magi. On Wednesday, the unboxing. This was the unboxing in Polish of a game created by a Polish designer, by Krzysztof Biernacki, Across the Bug River. This is a game which is focused on the initial stages of World War II and on Operation Barbarossa. It is focused on the Włodzimierz-Wołyń sector and on the initial push by the German forces during the initial stages of the Barbarossa campaign. Finally, on Friday, a review, and this was the Polish review of Skyway Robbery, a steampunk set game released by Game Salute a few years ago, a game in which we take control of thieves who will try gathering additional crew members, gathering equipment to become the most prestigious thief in the entire Gaslight Imperium world. So this is a Euro game, excellent when it comes to its look, excellent when it comes to its theme, but also quite enjoyable when it comes to its mechanics. So those were the 4 videos released on Wojennik TV during the last week. I hope you will have a fantastic weekend, great gaming, and see you next time.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions review, the punk rock band of Wargame review. Institution's first game we reviewed this week is Avalon Hill Stalingrad. We talk about both the good and the bad. If you're not familiar with this game, it's a war game from 1963 that introduced a lot of the modern wargame mechanics, but unfortunately the play balance and the game itself isn't all that good, but it's historically relevant. And then we did a first look at Wargame Chat number 18, where Len and I talked about Avalon Hill games. I talked about the ones I've played the most recently, and Len talked about a bunch he's played since the early 1970s. And then we did a first look at a very unique war game called Ranger from Omega Games. Essentially, there's no counters in it, and you have a laminated map, and you're using like a grease pencil to mark where your forces are and direction of movement and so forth. It's very unique. And last we did a first look at Avalon Hill Victory in the Pacific. This is a very simple Pacific war game. You could probably learn the rules in like an hour and play your first game. If you're not looking to get one of these monster like War in the Pacific games or something, this is a light game you can play instead. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Hex the Hex does part 3 of Case Yellow, and he doesn't see any snow. Well, it's 18 seconds of that. I keep telling yous guys, y'all gotta check out Dragon Man, okay? He's got a wicked museum. Now he's driving around the museum in military vehicles. Also, his newest Civil War firearm looks like a Black Betty, I don't know, and a private museum tour. I'm telling you, anybody that lives in Colorado, Seven Springs, not Seven Springs, something Springs. Seven Springs? I don't know. But anyways, check it out. And Mo's game table looks at actually he previews 65, Alone in the Jungle from Flying Pig Games. I'm assuming this preview is because Flying Pig Games are reprinting it. I don't know, but I got it. Do you? And Riccardo Mazzini, the professor, on his Warlog numbers, well, a huge number because he's done a lot of them. He checks out Bayonets and Tomahawks, a game designed by one of the Quebecer designers, Mac Rodrigue. This guy's an old voyageur, let me tell you. And Ricardo puts his spin on it. Vai bene, Ricardo. Combat Board Games checks out Raid on Iran, a quick review. And for all you prog rock fans, check out Gentle Giant's On Reflection remix by Steven Wilson. Listen, this guy's got ears. bigger than my stomach, and that's big, okay? If you know On Reflection, well, you don't really know On Reflection till you've heard this remix, trust me. The lights, the video, the voice. I'm serious here, take a look at that picture. Is he a master of lighting? Anyways, how to play Shores of Tripoli naval combat from Seek Out and Play. Cody of the Discriminating Gamer checks out the Gaming Gang's Company of Heroes board game. You want to know what's happening on the big board? I'll tell you. Kevin, Wednesday Night Live. Okay, for sure. That's his title. Also, MBT scenario number 22 of the British Army of the Rhine module, that is. And expectations of quality in wargaming or wargame publishing. That should be very interesting. And for our Spanish viewers, Julius Fairfax tells us his 5 favorite games of 2020. The man famously known as Calandale Enrico Viglino plays Serbian, someone told me, Serbian Moose Sterben, the War of Serbia or something. It's weird. Anyways, that's what he's playing. Also, he talks about More Death and Solar Wind Supply Chain Rant. Check it out. And the Board Game Chronicles is taking on Fields of Fire 2, Peleliu, or Peleliu. Peleliu mission, but hey, come on, it's written Peleliu. Huh? That's the way they say it over there. I know. Anyways, the Peleliu mission 2, Japanese counterattack. Turn 2, Fields of Fire, a game published by GMT, designed by Ben Hull. And my favorite Frenchman who lives in England, Fred Serval of Lumuludens, has a new series called Hex Encounter 101, and here he teaches Combat Commander. Check it out, Kid Jansen, I'm and the cop that is Wayne Hansen plays Tiny Battle Publishing's new game, Scream, Aim, Horror, an overview and review. And those mamalukes of the Player's Aid. I for some reason I can't do not singular but the plurals today. Whatever. They're unboxing Assault Artillery from Compass Games, also reviewing a game from Worthington Publishing 1944, Battle of the Bulge, and they're unboxing Decisive Victory, Soissons from Legion Wargames. And Artie of ARDWULF'S LAIR, everything you want to know about wargames but we're afraid to ask, with the devil Dan Pancaldi and maybe some more people. Well, I'm the devil, I guess, but I thought I was an angel. Also, Counterclipping, Normandy Games. That's it for Artie. And the Grognard of the Year, Jim Ozarski 2020, voted by you on No Enemies Here. He checks out the Battle of Gettysburg Day 2 for Altar of Freedom, Jim Ozarski. The Panache Wargaming.
Hello all! Today, Kilroy goes off the shelf on series. Let's get serious now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about games in a series, or games that have a core set of rules that lay out the rules that for an entire series, and then the subsequent games have the same core set of rules, but will add a specific set of rules for that game, whether it be a campaign, a battle, or what have you. So you have a core set of rules that you can learn and understand, and then there's a few extra rules that you need to learn for the game that you have at hand, but they all kind of tie together. It really reduces the learning curve for games. And one of my favorite in this series is the Standard Combat series. MMP is known for having series games. You have the Standard Combat series, you have the OCS series, which is at an operational level, and of course is quite more detailed. But the Standard Combat Series is a good place to start. Not only a good place to start for people just getting into war games, but it's a good place to start for, you know, war gamers that have a lot of have an interest in a variety of topics, because you can learn one core set of rules and then only have to learn some specific rules for each different game, and so you can really take it to you go as far as the series goes, or as far as the publisher wants to take it into different series and games. So, for example, looking at Panzer Battles here, which I want to thank Mo's Game Table, because I got that complimentary for him. It's part of a contest on one of his shows one time, or the Whiskey Charlie show maybe. But you know, Panzer Battles here's the Standard Combat Series rules. Here is the series rules. It's up to 1.8, and so you learn these rules, which are 8 pages, and of course that's with designer notes. So you're only talking about 7 pages of rules. This is pretty straightforward, hex encounter, combat chart type stuff. Then if for Panzer Battles or the battles that are at issue in this game, you can look at the Standard Combat Series Panzer Battle rules, which have the scenario, has some charts in there, and is only 12 pages, and has all the scenarios of what you want to play in there. So not a whole lot of extra rules here. It looks like you have about 4 pages of extra rules. You get into the scenarios, but once you learn the standard series rules, or the series rules, you've got it. You know what you're doing, and you can take it from there. The other beauty of the Standard Combat Series is that it goes into a lot of different types of topics. You got World War II, a lot of World War II type games, but you also have it at different scales. You know, Panzer Battles is at a tactical level, but you have games like the Mighty Endeavor, which I gotta give a shout out to ARDWULF'S LAIR. Didn't get that free from him, but he made me buy it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But that's at an operational level. So kind of interesting there. Even though it's Standard Combat Series, it's kind of more operational level than Panzer Battles. And so you got different aspects of different conflicts that can be handled with the series rules. You have Guadalajara, which goes into the Spanish Revolution. You've got Yom Kippur and Heights of Courage, which goes into the Arab-Israeli War. So you can go into a lot of different topics, and so all you need to know is the standard rules or the series rules, and then you'll just learn the specific rules for each one of those different games. So that to me is a big plus with series games. Not to be outdone, you have the great battles of the American Civil War, which I have, like Twin Peaks, Dead of Winter, and Death Valley. That follows the same model. You have your series rule book, which this is a little bit more extensive because this is a little bit more detailed and complex game. But you have your series rule book that once you learn that, then all you need to do is just pick up the specific rules for that specific battle. Now, this doesn't expand into different areas. This is only battles of the American Civil War. But for that, like for example, this is from Twin Peaks, the Battle of South Mountain. There's 2 different battles in that, South and Cedar Mountain. And then you have this battle-specific rules. So this is the battle book. So you're going to have the rules that are specific to South Mountain on there, and not a whole lot of different rules there. So there's only about 5 pages. Then you get into the scenarios. And so there's different scenarios and different setups for that battle. So, that is something that I really like, is this series concept of, learning a core set of rules and then building upon that. You don't have to learn the whole thing over again. So the more that you can play a lot of different variety of titles or a lot of different variety of battles without having to learn a whole new game each time. Now, there are other games that fall within this series concept. There's Great Battles of History, Men of Iron, Conflict of Heroes. Those are kind of in a series as well. However, for the most part, they usually do a whole separate rule book. They don't have like a core set of series rules because there's enough changes between each of the different titles, like between the Great Battles of Alexander and SPQR, there's some nuances there, so they issue a whole new rule book, and you don't necessarily have this series rule book and then just a small little rule book that talks about the rules that are specific for them. The same is true for the Men of Iron series. Now, in the tri-pack, I don't know if they issued like a core rule book and then had individual rule books to deal with each of the games that came in the tri-pack, but I bought the individual games for Men of Iron, so each one of them had their own unique rule book. Now, a lot of the rules were the same, and I didn't do a compare version, so I don't know if they're identical, but they did issue new rule books for each one of those games. So the small unit tactical games really lend themselves to this, because you can have a core rule set, advanced squad leader, core rule set. Then you just get a module or get a battle pack or whatever, and then you can play the games that way. The Last 100 Yards kind of falls into that. Of course, they're doing new rule books because they're doing new instances with each of its iterations. I think there's 2 released on that, and there's a 3rd one on the way. But that small unit tactical kind of lends itself to that same kind of concept of having a core set of rules and then having individual rules come out with each of the different or specific battles or circumstances that you're modeling in that case. The Napoleonics, there's a lot of different games in that follow that kind of core rule book. La Bataille, the Library of Napoleonic Games from OCS, OSG, I should say. Those kind of follow that same way too. You'll have a core rule book that you can learn, understand those rules, and then you're going to have some specific rules depending on the battle or campaign or whatever's specific into that concept. So that's series. That's what I'm talking about with series. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you like series? Do you feel like it's too contrived? That it doesn't go into the detail or chrome that you want for that specific battle. You'd rather have a 40-page rule book just on that battle or just on that campaign or just on that operation. Or do you like it? I tend to like them because it just gives you one rule set you really need to learn and hone down, and then you just pick up the specific rules for that battle or that operation or that campaign, and you can get running with it. Again, there's numerous other examples of that. Those are the ones I just kind of thought I'd pull out. Again, Standard Combat Series is kind of one of the more accessible, simpler and easier ones to get into, and has a good variety of topics, at least in my opinion. Thanks.
And Jeff McAleer of the Gaming Gang is looking fabulous! And I'm really happy for you, Jeff. He takes a first look at Under Falling Skies. Also, he reviews The Masquerade Rival and Symbaroum. I don't know. Symbaroum Advanced Player's Guide. Check out the Gaming Gang. Hey, it's a lot of fun. I'm there sometimes. And the Operation Room is checking out the Battle of Savo Island 1942. It's animated. Check it out. And John Cranston, Compass Games, is live with episode 61 and the latest news from Compass Games, including a new pre-order game announcement. And what might that be? Well, check it out. STUKAJOE had Gregory M. Smith on his game and designer in the table where he plays Zeppelin Raiders. You know what? It's pretty wicked. I want that game. I think it's out of print, but anyways. Also, he's doing a sample scouting mission that is the easiest mission, and the sequence of play cards. You got it. He did a sequence of play cards for Zeppelin Raider. Man, awesome. And a sample bombing mission. Way to go, Stuka. Another week. Another show. People, have the best weekend you can. Okay? Just do it. Money ain't gonna help you. Have a good weekend. for anybody who really knows me, I'll tell you, when I get into something, it's 100%. It's not my fault. That's the way I'm made. If I like something, I'm gonna do it. If I don't like something, I can't do it. It just doesn't work. It's like drinking tequila after a night you had a tequila night, you know? Drink tequila the next morning. That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. So, I hope you enjoy this. I plan on one day becoming a member of les confrères des pipeurs de Saint-Claude. Enjoy.
Qui êtes-vous, vous qui osez demander l'entrée dans l'illustre confrérie des maîtres pipiers de Saint-Claude? Grand maître, des inconnus demandent l'entrée dans notre confrérie. Ils ne veulent pas se présenter. Que dois-je faire?
Les profanes viennent de nous démontrer que s'ils savent frapper à notre porte, ils savent également se taire. Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui les connaisse?
Très illustre grand maître, j'ai sous les yeux un document qui présente les profanes.
Alors qu'on les fasse entrer et qu'on les interroge. La pipe que vous teniez dans vos mains il y a quelques instants est un objet sacré. La pipe symbole de prêt, de détente et d'affection. La pipe qui rend apte à juger d'une façon calme et objective de toutes les affaires humaines doit être fumée avec le respect et les soins les plus grands. Symbole d'audace, de courage calculé et de sang-froid, la pipe de bon teint et de bonne odeur ne s'accommode que d'être possédée par un homme généreux, honnête et borgne. En un mot, la pipe, c'est l'homme.
La pipe de Saint-Claude sera toujours la reine. Et pour un fumeur, avoir une fête, Saint-Claude reste dans le cadre de l'honneur. Pour lui, la pipe tient une place qui doit être un moment privilégié. Pour Romain, la pipe est une compagne de vie. Elle tranquillise. Si les gens avaient connaissance de tout l'art du maître pipier, exercé pour créer ses œuvres, le monde porterait pipe au bec.
Confrères et maîtres pipiers, attestez-vous que nos grands orateurs ont dit et proclamé la vérité et que les mérites des profanes ici présents en toute liberté et selon nos désirs et le leur ne sont contestés par qui que ce soit. Nous l'attestons. L'enquête approfondie qui a été effectuée à votre sujet nous a donné entière satisfaction sur le plan humain et moral. Vous êtes des hommes libres et vous respectez le droit et la justice. L'épreuve que vous allez maintenant subir est la dernière et la plus délicate. La pipe de Saint-Claude que nous offrons est vierge et légère comme toutes les bruyères qui n'ont jamais été fumées. Voulez-vous fumer cette pipe selon la plus ancienne et la plus noble tradition et nous confirmer que vous êtes digne d'entrer dans notre illustre confrérie? En écartant le miel, l'huile et l'alcool, nos amis se sont montrés avisés, gourmets et connaisseurs. En respirant avec mesure et dans la magie des délices parfaits de la fumée de cette pipe de Saint-Claude au départ de sa vie, ils nous ont confirmé leur sérénité. En reposant cette pipe la tête en bas, pure de toute cendre, ils nous ont montré le respect de la bonne bruyère. Nous décidons qu'ils sont dits d'être amis dans notre illustre confrérie des maîtres pipiers de Saint-Claude. Nous demandons à tous les fumeurs de pipe de Saint-Claude, de France et du monde entier de leur accorder estime, considération, amitié, respect, aide et assistance.
À Saint-Claude, solennellement.
À Saint-Claude, solennellement.
Devant l'illustre cour Pipière.
Devant l'illustre cour Pipière.
Je prête serment.
Je prête serment.
De te servir fidèlement.
De te servir fidèlement.
Au noble pipe de Bruyère.
Au noble pipe de Bruyère.
Au nom de la confrérie des maîtres pipiers de Saint-Claude, je vous nomme confrère pipier. Au nom de la confrérie des maîtres pipiers de Saint-Claude, je vous nomme confrère.